membership from a slightly different angle than we've done in our past sessions. Tonight, we're going to consider what the value of being a Rotarian is to ourselves, not just to our club and to our community, but what's in it for each of us. What's the value we get from being in Rotary? So let's begin with this thought. If I were to meet you walking down the street, I would probably say, "Hi, how are you doing? What's new?" Your answer would likely be something along the lines of, "I'm doing fine, and I'm really busy." We are all really busy. That's just a fact of life in the world that we live in these days and the kind of people that we are. Yet we find time to volunteer with Rotary. Now, we probably say that we do it because we want to do good and be part of the community. We want to get involved locally or even internationally to make the world a better place and to make an impact on others. That's basically what we say when we're asked why are we making the time. But what about the impact that Rotary is having on us? There must be some value for us personally, or we probably wouldn't make the time in our otherwise busy lives to do this. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. What's that value? What's that really all about? Now, here's something we don't talk about all that often in Rotary. It is okay to get something of value from being a Rotarian. It doesn't have to be a purely selfless experience. It's okay to benefit personally from being in Rotary, to take something away from the experience, not just to give, but to also receive. It's okay to take away valuable leadership skills that you can apply in your career, or maybe if you own a business. It's okay to find value in networking, in project management, in event planning, in public speaking. These are all benefits that we get because we're in Rotary, and these are all things that are okay. So tonight we're going to drill down into that value, the personal value of being in Rotary that makes it oh so worthwhile in spite of, and actually because we are very busy people. To help us consider this idea of value, we have a panel of three very busy Rotarians who will share their thoughts on this topic. Our panel members are making the time in their busy lives to be members and leaders in Rotary. I'm just going to give you a very brief introduction of the three panelists, and then I'm going to interview each of them about this topic and have them explore the concept of value. So first we have John Marchioni. John is a public image chair for his home district, which is District 7910, which is located in central Massachusetts. He's also an assistant governor. He's a Rotary at Work co-chair, and he's also a Paul Harris Fellow. He's held various roles in his club. For work, he's the executive director of Horo New England, which is a business association focused on the residential remodeling industry. He's also board chair for Adaptive Sports of New England. So welcome, John. We
Thank you very
also
much.
have we also have Johnny Ahern. Johnny Ahern is the current district governor-elect for District 7910, again, central Massachusetts. And just a little background about Johnny. He completed 2 combat tours in Kuwait and Iraq for the United States Army during his 10 years of active duty service. After the military, he earned a bachelor's degree in deaf studies specialization at Gallaudet University in Washington, D.C., the world's only university in which all programs and services are specifically designed for deaf or hard of hearing students. Johnny operates 2 locations of Aroma Joe's in Massachusetts. And in addition to being in Rotary since 2018, he's also a member of the American Legion Post. He's actively involved with multiple chambers of commerce, volunteers with veteran organizations, sponsors numerous events, and recently became a big with Big Brothers Big Sisters. So welcome, Johnny.
Thanks, Karen.
And then lastly, we have Filippo Pederzoli. And do we have Filippo? There he is. Great. So Filippo is an MD, PhD, and a postdoctoral researcher at Weill Cornell Medicine in New York City, where he studies new therapeutic approaches to treat prostate cancer. He joined the Rotary family as a Rotaractor when he was 19 in the Rotaract Club of, I hope I'm going to say this right, Faenza? Okay, which is, it's District 2070, and that's in Italy, where he served as club secretary and club president. About 3 years ago, he joined the Rotary Club of Faenza, which was the sponsoring Rotary Club for his original Rotaract Club. And there he served as Rotaract advisor for his club. He's a Paul Harris Fellow +2, and he's the current president of the Goodwill Toastmasters Club, an online Toastmasters club born from the Rotary Toastmasters Alliance. So there's your panel, and I want to thank each of you again for agreeing to support our Irresistible series by participating in tonight's segment. So I'm going to get started with the first question, and John, I'm going to ask each of you this question, but John, I want you to go first. You're busy, clearly, yet you make time for Rotary, so there's clearly value in it for you. Tell us about what you find most valuable about being a Rotarian.
Well, I'll put it in the context of the combination or the intersection of Rotary and business. When we got started with this, we named our version of Rotary Means Business Rotary at Work. And we started with regular business networking sessions because 3 of us at the start wanted to do more business more often with more Rotarians because we spent a lot of time working, and we wanted to do business with people who shared our values. We knew that Rotarians would be high integrity, trustworthy, honest. And we also knew that networking works when you invite people who you know, like, and trust to connect and to seek to collaborate or support each other. So Jan Lucchetti and I invited people to join this networking group. And then we kept inviting and inviting and inviting people. And it grew and it grew and it grew. And it was always open to everybody. And I think that had 2 good effects. One is it helped us have a broader network, but it also ended up being a tremendous membership development initiative because as we then went into the pandemic, it was one of the only ways was to connect was like here on Zoom. And we could continue to have really good conversations with interesting people. And then a few of them seemed to, who were not yet Rotarians, and that's how we referred to them as not yet Rotarians, seemed like really high quality individuals. And so we'd say, have you ever thought about joining a Rotary Club? And some of them were attracted to ours, but some also went to the neighboring clubs, and we encouraged people to go to those neighboring clubs. We probably gained 8 new members through that initiative, but it was all because we invited relentlessly and we combined something that we were already doing with something that we cared about and then mushed them together.
Terrific. Johnny, how about you? You're busy, yet you make time for Rotary, so there's clearly value in it for you. Can you tell us about what you find most valuable about being a Rotarian?
So before I answer that, I think a lot of people join Rotary more for business, and selfishly, I joined Rotary because I was opening a brand new business in a town. So I got involved with Rotary to more promote my business, to draw in customers. But then as you continue working with Rotarians, working with the community, your mind changes why you're part of Rotary. And now I look at it as I stay busy to learn more about Rotary. If I just stay within my club, you're not really going to find out really how big Rotary is, how impactful they are until you get out of your club. So for me, I'm always trying to get my hands involved and seeing what I can do. That way I can learn a little bit more. I can meet different people. I can get more involved. So for me, it's building those different connections. And selfishly, I'm like, I don't really have to promote my business at all because I do work outside of my business. And now they associate me as, oh, he's the one that owns Roma Joe's. So now it's kind of hand in hand, but I don't have to selfishly plug the business, whereas I'm just out there doing things on behalf of Rotary.
Great. Filippo, how about you? You're busy, but you make time for Rotary. There's clearly value for you. Tell us about what that feels like for you.
Thank you everyone for having me tonight. For sure, I joined for networking and for doing good in the world. These are the two main things that brings us all to Rotary in general. But imagine, I would like just to draw your attention on networking. How many times you just have to convey your message in like a couple of minutes, even more, maybe 30 seconds, who you are, why are you there, and why I should interact with you. This is crucial. Communication is crucial. And to hone these skills about networking, about communication, I found when I moved here in New York a couple of years ago, this Goodwill Toastmasters Club that, as you may see from the two logos, is a club made by the Rotary Toastmasters Alliance that you may have heard before or not, which is basically a way to hone my skills in communication, also on my English, because you can easily understand that English is not my mother tongue and I was not born and raised in this country. And this is the value for me, the value of being able to convey who I am, my ideas, and through that doing business, but also doing great service project with trustworthy partners in Rotary.
Terrific. All right, great. So we've established that you all have found value. Now I'm going to get a little more specific with each of you. And John, I'm going to start with you. How have your members and other Rotarians in your district found value and benefit from the Rotary Means Business program? I mean, you talked about it a little bit already, but I know that it's not just impacting your own club, it's sort of impacting the entire district, and that membership train is helping other clubs, not just your own. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I can a little bit, but I would say that the membership impact has been greatest for the Rotary Club of Weston and Wayland because that has a core group of people who have worked the process, right? These are people who have shown up over time and sought to connect with other people. And that cumulative effect is important, I think, because when somebody shows up and meets three members of our club, they have a clear understanding that there's a club-oriented commitment or interest in each other. And so it's had a better membership impact for us than for others because other clubs haven't embraced it as aggressively, perhaps, as we have. That said, I now have really good business contacts from a number of other clubs going out to Shrewsbury, which is 30 miles away, Framingham, Watertown, right? So it's been, I think, more beneficial for us and for me because I've been doing this since 2019. And I'm seen as a leader because I show up a lot and because I don't shut up. So Johnny didn't smile as much as I thought he would there. So you got to work it anything in order to generate energy and results. And so we've had a really good experience with it, and a few other clubs have had some membership benefit. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Johnny, how about you? You're district governor-elect. You own a couple coffee shops. Rotary, I think I've talked to you in the past. I know you. I think being a Rotarian has given you an opportunity to grow some leadership skills, which you're getting ready to have a huge opportunity to practice. So can you Can you talk a little bit about how being a Rotarian has expanded your leadership skills?
Sure. So, like I had mentioned before, getting out of the club, I think was very important for me. And doing more things and going to a district conference or a training assembly or RLI, I firm believer in any of those avenues of learning because they're teaching you more than just Rotary. They're teaching you skills. They're teaching you how to get up in front of people and talk. Granted, unlike John, I can also just randomly talk. I almost muted you, by the way. But anyway, I did. So, but it's one of those things where now you're working with others that are skilled in certain areas that are helping you be a better person. If there's things I am struggling with, I am not afraid to say, hey, I'm not comfortable talking live in front of a bunch of people. What can I do to work on that? And you have this huge network of people that some do it professionally for a living and that they can give you those notes and that guidance to help you. So I look at it as it's good for me to seek out help from other people, which I would call my peers. And for me, also as a business owner, I have young staff that look up to me as well. So I'm also in that mentorship role as they see what I can do, and I'm trying to relay that information to my staff as well. And we've brought on our one of my managers who's she joined our club at 20 years old and she was the youngest Rotarian in the district. But now she can get up there and just talk to anybody because it's the skills that she's learning in the club is you don't have to be afraid and be shy. These are family. When you talk to Rotary, you're talking to family. And so.
Great. Thank you, Johnny. That's great. And Filippo, you joined Rotaract when you were 19 and then became a Rotarian in Italy. And now you're a member here in the States, or you're in a club in the States, I guess. And you also participate in the Toastmasters Club because of your Rotary membership. So I know you've already mentioned it a little bit, but can you give us even more of a taste of how that alignment has been of value to you? And I want to stop too and say, I think you told me that all of the members in your Rotary Club are also in the Toastmasters Club, like you're all in it together?
So most of our members in the Rotary Toastmasters Club are Rotarian as well, here in the New York area, Westchester and New Jersey, facing New York, let's say. But as we are an online club, our membership spans also up to Montana, and we also had some international members as well over the last years. I joined Rotary because I also wanted to do good in the world. And how many of you are thrilled about the service project you do in your community or in the world? Please raise your hands. I think I will see 100% or raise the hands. But how many of you will be ready right now in 1 minute to share with me the best project or the project they are more enthusiastic about? I would not see probably 100% raised hands because not all of us are ready to just step up and speak. Many of our panelists are, and they already said, but confidence in your speaking skill is another very important ability that you want as Rotarian, but also as a business person or whoever you are in your profession. Storytelling is important, and I joined Toastmasters to find my voice and to find a way to speak to people about me, myself, as a professionist, as a researcher, but also as a Rotarian. And these storytelling techniques can be used in your business, but can also be used in your Rotary life, just to tell people how good you can do being a Rotarian in your community and in the world.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you, all three of you. Those were just great answers. And I have a final question, and I'm going to ask each of you to answer it. And then I'm going to open it up to everyone that's in the meeting tonight to also answer if you'd like. And so here's the final question. I'm going to start and let you three kick us off. How can clubs make membership more valuable? Not just for new members and potential members, but for all members. So thinking about what you've already talked about tonight and the value that you're getting out of being in Rotary? Is there anything that you can think of that clubs can do or can leverage to try to really improve that value? So I'm gonna let John, you've done such a good job going first. I'm gonna call you again to go first.
Thank you. Um, I think what matters most is unleashing your own passion and your own club's passion for whatever it is that you're doing, and taking that and working really, really hard to make it more valuable to you personally and professionally. I would encourage everyone to be incredibly selfish in that respect. Do something that you really are committed to, and people will witness that passion. And then if you invite them to join you for anything, anywhere, anytime, as thoroughly or superficially as appeals to them, that's fine. And then when they show up, welcome them warmly, and then do it again. And I think that um, if I was invited to join Rotary so many times over the course of about 7 years, and then it was finally I finally had the time. I felt like I had the time to do it. That's when I was able to join. But if Richard DeVito hadn't been relentless in inviting me to join Rotary and to get involved and kept doing it and doing it and doing it, I wouldn't have. So if you believe in something and you're doing something with passion, it's a hell of a lot easier to invite people to join you than anything else, right? So make it personally important to you and then just invite people to join you.
All right, great, Johnny. How about you? Any ideas for how clubs can make membership more valuable?
I think the club has to ask their members what they want to get out of that club. Because what somebody thinks the club needs to get out is not necessarily what they want. And I think it's very important to first ask everybody, because everyone's going to have a different opinion. Some are going to want to stay more service focused. Some are going to want more professional skills, but get that overall idea of what the members want, and then kind of build a plan and work on that plan, but then also follow through with that plan. If you're not going to follow through, all of that is just pointless. John, you've got to.
Totally agree with that. Visioning is really, really important, because then you know what you want. Your club knows what your club wants to do, and your club also knows what your club doesn't want to do. And
Correct.
both of those are important.
Exactly.
All right, Filippo, what are your thoughts? How can clubs make membership more valuable?
I would just add something on about to what John and Johnny has already shared. Be open to share your passion to all your members, and also to share the opportunities that Rotary brings to you. For example, the Goodwill Toastmasters Club is one opportunity because it's an alliance between Rotary and Toastmasters, but there are plenty of other opportunities that you can take advantage through Rotary itself or through the members of your community. So my suggestion is that just envision one meeting in which all the members sit together and they reintroduce themselves, because you don't know everything about your members. So you maybe just forgot about small details that might be crucial for your next move in your career as a professional person in your business or as a Rotarian. Just reintroduce yourself at a meeting, and we'll see that you will not know a lot of things about your own member, even that member that you know for the last 40 years.
All right, great idea. I'm going to share one, and then I'm going to ask other people to share. So my idea is that when someone asks me what Rotary is, I typically give them an answer, something along the lines of, well, Rotary is a service organization, and we do this project and we do that project. And I sort of point out some of the projects in my community that people might be familiar with. But I've been thinking, since I was working on tonight's session, that maybe when someone asks me what Rotary is, maybe instead I should answer along the lines of saying something like, well, Rotary is really valuable to me because X, because Y, because Z, because of leadership skills, because of networking, because of the friendships, etc. And I make the time to be a member of Rotary. So I just want to say thank you again to the panelists and see if anybody else in the audience either has questions for the panelists or has other ideas they want to share about this topic. You can put your hand up and we will open it up.
It's best if you can
I
use
think
the,
Arthur's got his hand up.
yeah. Let's see if we can find people.
I see
All
Julie.
right,
with her
I
hand up.
raised my hand, so I'll talk. I think one of the things that also needs to be discussed is the Rotary Fellowships. That to discuss with people, regardless of what you enjoy doing, there's an International Rotary Fellowship that you can join other members of whatever it is, whether you collect stamps, whether you ride horses, whether you fly helicopters, whether you drink wine or beer or whatever. And I think that opening that up to people, that through Rotary, you can meet with other people who have similar passions to what you have, is quite valuable.
Yes, fellowships are not mentioned often enough, and they are definitely a valuable part of being a Rotarian. So thank you for that.
We have Bill Gilbert.
Yes, I'm from southwestern Ontario, and I have found some of this conversation interesting around the business orientation. I've been a member for very long, and when I joined, business was certainly there. There were even classifications. You could only have, in our case, up to 3 lawyers, or up to 3 accountants, or up to 3 whatever. And I have found the last 15, maybe 20 years, that has been, I hate to say it, discouraged. And I feel, we still have a lot of our charter members, or I guess they aren't charter, most of them have died off, but literally, but other long-term members, and that's why you join. And then what I have found over the years is it changes why you stay. And it's no longer business. It is the fellowship. Obviously you join for some of the do good in the world, but that becomes even more important. The socials are our most attended items over and above the meetings themselves. And in a sense, I'm glad to hear that business orientation. And unfortunately, in our area, it's never mentioned anymore.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. I'm not sure where to go. How about Julie?
Hi there.
Hi.
Can you hear me? I was just asked this question last week. I was traveling with my sister and I was connecting to Zoom meetings in the evening for Rotary and various other things. And she said, do you enjoy Rotary? Like, why are you doing all this? And for me, I guess I would give a quote that which is, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. And for me, Rotary provides purpose and meaning in my life. There are certainly times where it feels like work, kind of like when you're raising children. It's not always fun when you're raising children. It can feel like work at times. But in the end, it provides meaning, and you can have an opportunity to join with other people and make the world a better place.
Well said. Thank you, Julie. About Sonia?
Hi, I'm from District 7070, and I went to visit one of our other clubs in the district with my district governor, Virginia. I believe she's on this call as well. One of the things that we learned in this club was they have Rotary oh, sorry, I lost my wording. Anyway, there was a Rotary hero every month, like, and then they made up these small little rewards for them or certificates for them, something that cost nothing. You did it on the photocopy or whatever, and it was the Rotarian of the month, and so it kept the seasoned Rotarians engaged, and it also got the newer Rotarians that came in interested in what was going on. And then if they were the Rotarian of the month, they got to speak about why they were the Rotarian of the month, and then so everybody got to relearn the people. And that's why I thought that was a good way to keep people engaged and keep people going at the same time.
Great idea. Thanks for sharing that, Sonia. How about Matt Adler?
Hi, Karen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You can hear me?
Yes.
So when I was district governor about 4 years ago, one of the things I stressed was how important it was for everybody to have their so-called Rotary elevator speech. So that when somebody asks you what Rotary is, you have an answer as opposed to kind of like, being lost in outer space. So one of the things that I said, and by all means, I got this from another past district governor that maybe some of you know. His name is Michelangelo Caruso. And what Michael says, when somebody says to you, what's Rotary? And I do this now, I say, excluding marrying my wife and the birth of my 2 children, Rotary is the best decision I've ever made.
Oh, I love that.
So the minute that you say that, first off, people are kind of floored that you say that. The next thing they do is they say, why? The minute that they say why, you are not selling them Rotary anymore. They're asking you. Mm-hmm. How could somebody say that? So when I go on and I say, because I found something bigger than me, I found a way to give back in my community, I found a way to make a difference in the world, and I found the opportunity to meet people who make me a better person. So, everybody should just, think about it. I don't really like the expression elevator speech, but everybody should have something that when somebody asks you what Rotary is, you should have a relatively quick response.
That's great. Thanks, Matt.
You're welcome.
Gail. Gail Rogers? No? All right, I'm going to go to Dick Samus.
Hey, real quick, my video's off. Is my video? I have a brand new computer, so well, you can hear me, right?
We can hear you. Yep. Go ahead.
But Matt, that was a really great point, and I know Crusoe also. But I want to get back to this networking because I thought this was a really great topic tonight. I joined Rotary when I was a young attorney, and I was really discouraged that after, about a year, I hadn't picked up any new clients from Rotary. And then someone pointed out I was a criminal and bankruptcy lawyer. But I soldiered on. But kind of my question, and maybe any of the panel would want to jump in on this. I go back a ways to when you just didn't talk about your business. You got fined if you talked about your business. And networking has been kind of discouraged. And I think it's a great idea to encourage membership to get this whole networking thing underway. And if our panel has any tips, anything on how to get a dead networking club into this mode, I'd be glad to hear it.
In the immortal words of Phil Knight at Nike, just do it. If you decide that if you believe there's value in networking for you, then start a group. It takes 2 or 3 people to get started. And then if you do good networking and good business and help each other grow and honor the 4-way test, then you will gain some momentum. It might be a little momentum or a lot of momentum, but you'll be doing more business with people you can trust implicitly because they subscribe to the 4-way test. Just do it, right? This is 2025. This is not 25 years ago. This is not 40 years ago. Rotary has changed, and I will people who know me won't be surprised that when I heard that Rotary some clubs were discouraging the discussion of business, I said, well, that's stupid because I spend a third of my life working. And if I can do more work with people who share my values, that's better. So I declined to accept that position, and we just did it anyway.
And John, when you say networking, are you doing this within the Rotary framework, within the club, the meeting framework, or are you getting people to jump outside of this framework? How are you doing it?
We do a virtual and an in-person. We have done virtual and in-person networking events every single month, at least once a month. On the the second Tuesday of every month, we gather in some place physically that's within our district, though we could move it around if there were more energy in one of the other areas of the club. But we got a really good diner where we can meet that first Tuesday the second Tuesday from 8 to 9 a.m. And then people have conversations that go beyond that. But it's definitely outside of the single club because we want to know people from other clubs in other towns and not yet Rotarians. So if there's anybody who I know and like in business, I'll invite them to that Rotary business networking and say it's for everybody. It's open to everybody. And that was a very important element of it. It's open to everyone. And that's why it became a membership development tool.
Great.
All right.
Just in the chat, I know Gail just had some issues unmuting, but if we want to swing back to Gail real quick.
All right, Gail.
Yes, hi everyone.
Hi.
I'm with the Easton Rotary. And one of the things that I find disconcerting is the fact that the way we move around, you're not always a member of that district or a resident of that district. Because I live in New Jersey, but I'm a member of Easton. But I also have my own projects other than Rotary. Now, I feel like I support all Rotary projects, but they don't support my projects. So it's a give and take. If you want your members to support everything Rotary, if they have outside projects with other organizations and whatever events they have, the members have to also support that. Because otherwise it's one-sided. And that's what I think.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Gail. Virginia.
Thank you. So this is sort of totally off the networking track. But when I first joined Rotary, I was a small town girl in a big city, and it was just work, work, work. It was all focused on business, and Rotary gave me the chance to do something other than just work, to meet people in my community, and to just find out, to discover other things in the community aside from just working. So. Okay. And that's why I stay.
That's great. No, I appreciate that. I'm going to just make everyone aware that we have about 3 minutes left. So still got some hands up. Let's go to Susan Bignati. Hi.
Suzanne, you're muted, but you don't look like Suzanne.
It's my lovely wife, Suzanne.
Okay.
But I'm her husband, Peter, and I'm with the Avon Canton Rotary in Connecticut.
Hi, Peter.
Hi. And one of the things we did is we did poll our members in terms of what they want and what would be valuable to them. And we kind of transformed ourselves from a check writing club into a service club. And so every month we have opportunities for service within our club. And we like to have at least 2 opportunities every month for service, whether it's serving meals for the homeless in Hartford, or whether it's working on a project with Habitat for Humanity, or it's working with some of the local nonprofits in the area. We have at least 2 projects, and we usually have anywhere between 10 and 12 people sign up for each of those projects every month, and that's what they want. And so we're always looking for new things to do in our community. and there's a huge amount of energy coming out of our club right now. We added 6 members last year. We're going to add at least another 6 members this year, because I'm the membership chairman. And but anyway, there's a lot of excitement about it, and it's also a great way to get to know your members in a different way than you might get to know them at a meeting when you're hammering nails with them or serving lunch with them or that kind of thing. So it's been really beneficial to us, and I just see a lot of energy on our club right now, and we're really doing very nicely.
That's great. Well, service is our secret sauce, definitely. So that's great that you're doing that. Gonna do one more. How about Ginger?
Yeah, I was listening to some of the people. I was actually joined Rotary before women could join Rotary. So for 2 years, and this is going back 38 years ago, I was a Rotarian, but not a Rotarian. And I did projects and chaired committees, and then women could join, and I was able to join. One of the things that I heard was they were talking about the classifications and who can join. And I was a part of, when I joined Rotary, that's how we were. And so I am very encouraged by the new action plan and engagement, but particularly the piece that says that we no longer need to see if members fit us, but we need to be adaptable so that prospects will feel welcome and fit into clubs. We need to use our communication skills. We need to stick to our core values of peace. When there's looking at DEI, we're all different people. We have different cultures, different backgrounds. And so there are bound to be times we don't agree, and that's okay. We need to use communication, talk, resolve those issues. And I asked someone the other night on a Zoom, how do we get our older clubs to adapt to the fact that when they're looking at people, it's not, well, they don't fit our club, but that our club needs to fit them. And his advice to me was, you just keep saying it over and over and over again, that Rotary has changed, and it is now time for our clubs to adapt so that everyone fits the club. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Ginger. Thank you. Well, I'm going to turn this back over to Cindy because I think she has a few things she wants to say, and we're pretty much out of time. But this has been a really great discussion tonight. Lots of great energy and great thoughts. And I want to thank everyone again. And so, Cindy, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate you taking the helm on this one. It was really fantastic. Thank you, John, Johnny, and Filippo, for your dedication to Rotary and for sharing what keeps you engaged in Rotary. We appreciate it. So our next session is on March 3rd, and that topic is the Continuity Challenge, maintaining your club's momentum for growth, and we hope to see everyone there. But we are now working on next year's monthly membership sessions, and we'd like to hear from you. Do you have a topic? Do you have a suggestion? Do you have something that you would like to see during these monthly meetups? So we'd love for you to reach out to either myself or Louisa Horn and give us your ideas, and hopefully we might see you as a panelist or have you engaged on these meetings. And finally, we have a very small but very mighty enhanced learning committee that Karen chairs for us in our zone. If you'd like to join us, we encourage you to reach out to us as well. We'd love to have you be a member of that committee. So thank you again for your time. Thank you again for all that you do for Rotary. We value you. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Very
Thank
good.
you. Good night.
Thank
you.
Cindy, do you want to say anything about your orientation next week?
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes, the 10th at 7 p.m. Membership orientation. Thank you for the reminder. For new members, seasoned members, any member that would just like to know a little bit more about Rotary and our history. And it's a great jumping off point to then learn a little bit, and then your club and district can add some more flavor or some more information on top of that. So yes, February 10th at 7 p.m. Member orientation. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Take care.
Good night. Take
Good
care.
night.
And are we staying on, Cindy?
Sorry, yes, we're gonna have just a brief meeting for our ARCs and mentors from the zone. So
Cindy,
there we go.
Cindy?
Yes, Sharon, hi.
Yeah, sorry. Someone put it in the chat. I don't think you saw it, and I have the same question. How do we get in touch with you if we had
Oh,
what the topics are?
cindy.rotary@gmail.com, CINDIE.rotary@gmail.com.
I'm gonna write that down, but I think there were a lot of people that really would have liked to know.
Wanted that? Yes. I mean,
Oh, is there a way
I don't
to-
know why. I just assume that everyone has my email. It's on the zone
It is
website.
on the zone website.
It is
Yeah.
on the zone website.
All right,
Yes,
thank you. Thank you.
it
Bye.
is. Thank you, Sharon.
Bye.
I think everyone's left except for ARCs.
Yeah, Joe, I'm not sure
Joe,
who Joe is. It's still here.
Joe,
Joe, we'd like to start another meeting.
I will remove.
Okay. And Mike.
Mike Chafee.
No, Mike stays.
Oh, Mike stays. Sorry.
Mm.
Different zone. Thanks, Louisa.
Mike is here.
Thank you. There's Louisa. Hi. Okay. Happy Monday. Happy February. We made it through Groundhog Day, 6 more weeks of winter for everyone here. I lived in Punxsutawney for a very short span of time. I know, Diana, I see that face. I have a very funny story I'm going to share with you. Totally not relevant. So I had a roommate from Punxsutawney when I was in college. I went to visit there. I was like, why would anyone ever move here? Well, fast forward like 10 years later, my husband says we're moving to Punxsutawney. So we moved to Punxsutawney, but we moved in on the weekend of Groundhog Day. And it was so busy. There were parties, there were people in the street. It was packed. Everything was going on. And I'm like, hey, this isn't that bad. Well, February 3rd, ghost town. It was awful. So I encourage everyone to go to Punxsutawney once in their life to watch the groundhog. It is fun, but other than that, it's pretty quiet. So anyway. Thank you for joining us this evening. ARCs, would you like to share some good news, or what do you have? I'm looking for some good news because our numbers are not that great. So we need to stir things up, mix things up. Matt, you were shaking your head. Hit me with it.
No, I don't have any news other than I'm working right now in a satellite club, but that's about it right now.
Okay. Steve?
Not a whole lot. Yeah, as you know, you're had your meetings in 7850, and the part of it I could take part in. Oh, you guys did a great job, of course, you and Louisa. So 7850 is working hard. 7870, my own district, and a couple of my districts don't really even have functioning, committees, so it's pretty frustrating there. And 7930 is also trying, so at least you feel good about that. And our district at least has, the current governor is going to be the membership chair next year. So I'm hoping that we at least get some momentum with Bill at that point. So right now it's like our DGN is the membership chair, which they don't have time to do that.
Right.
You know, and it's been that way for a couple of years, so it's kind of a little frustrating. And you know, they kind of had some of the leadership in our district had some challenges with, you know, some of the things Herb was doing. So, you know, the zone got kind of, even though I'm the guy now, still haven't made all that much headway as far as
Well, I will jump in and add something here in that Mario's message is going to be all about membership. He is extremely membership focused. So I'm hoping that because that message is going to be loud and clear, ringing loud and clear to all of these DGEs when they're at IA next week, that I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that might help us a little bit.
Yeah.
Mel, would you like to share?
Crying my spilt milk, you mean?
Yeah. Okay. That's okay. If we need to have a pity party today, that's okay. We can, you know.
Yeah, we were working on in my district on the DGE's budget for next year, and she pulled up the numbers and we're like, oh my God, where'd everybody go? I mean, it was a massive drop for the first half of the year.
Yeah.
And everybody, I think, is just still, people are looking at these numbers and they're in shock and they don't know what to do next. So it's trying to, you know, regroup. And we just had our pre-Pels in my district this weekend, and, you know, told all the PEs that membership is really what you're going to be hearing a lot about when you're at Pels, and what we're going to be working on across the district and for our district training assembly. So just kind of really letting them know membership, because if we don't have that, the rest of it, you know, everything else goes away. You don't have the money in the foundation. You don't have the public image, you know, to talk about things you're doing. So it's it got a little scary pretty quick, because we had been, you know, the 3 districts, we had all been doing really well, and man, it turned fast.
As it can. Yes. Okay. Sam?
We're doing good. I mean, we're struggling as everyone is, but all of the districts are working on new clubs. I think that's where we're pushing it the most. You know, I mean, you have to get new members in all your clubs, but we are trying to start new clubs and start satellite clubs, and we're doing it a little bit here and there, but it takes time. So, but it's going well.
Good. Happy to hear that.